Green's YouTube, Captain Machine here, back for another mini update thing. And again, it's about my 40k orcs, so I thought I'd share something with you, and we'll have a bit of a natter about other things as well. Yep. Right, so, first of all, this is where I've been doing all my work. Look at that, that's a lot of spruage there. And as you can see, I'm watching Die Hard 4 to pass the time. So, what I thought I'd do is my first ever bit of conversion, which is, let's move this stuff aside, some hard boys. Not sure how well this is going to look on camera, but basically, we'll leave all this going aside, is what I've tried to do is I've taken some black orcs and I'm going to mix them with bits from the orc boys, space ones obviously, to make hard boys. Now this is not a very uncommon conversion. I've seen a lot of people do this. Warforge does one, and I'm going to put his link in the sidebar, which will show you his versions of them. Now obviously he's a better sculptor than me, all that malarkey, but it's a good place to look at if you're interested in this sort of thing, and he does Space Marines and all other kinds of armies. So if you're into your modelling, go look there, because he does some really nice work. So basically here's one I painted, not painted up, I've just modelled together. So I don't know how well that's looking on the camera. That's looking terrible. Let me just use this as a backdrop to cut out that sunlight. There we go, that's much better. Right, so basically this is just a regular black orc, but it's on a round base, not a square base. Basically I want to go for a mix of old-fashioned blunt force weaponry, which is how my orcs tend to play at the moment, and mix it with a bit of sci-fi here and there. So I've got him there, and I've got his mate who has the same weapon, or did have the same weapon until I basically added a buzzsaw on the end from the novel box. So just to give you an idea of the simple conversions I'm doing with those, I've got a black orc here, or hard boy, with dual swords, looking a bit grrr, and then I've got a similar one here with an axe or chopper, and I put a slugger in his hands. Not the best conversion I've ever done in my entire life. In fact, it's one of the earliest conversions I've done in my entire life, because I've not done this for a long time. I'm pretty much having to learn modelling and painting from scratch again. And here we go, and here's the knob. Now, I mount my knobs on, this is a Paintboy for example, which I built today. I mount mine on 40mm bases. It gives them a bit more volume and makes them easy to spot in the crowds, because you tend to get a lot of orcs on the table when you play with orcs. So I've mounted my knob on a 40mm base, but I'm using the, there we go, and that's what he looks like. It's basically the Black Orc boss, I think it's the name they give them. Give him the open face helm. He's the only person that has an open face helm in the entire unit. It's one way of distinguishing him. He's got this nice big axe here, which potentially could be a heavy chopper, but that's beside the point, because he has a power claw. So that is my knob mob, and that's basically what I built so far. So just to arrange them around so you can see what I've done. There we go, that's what I've done so far. Right, so if you've got any comments, please leave them, but on to the next topic. Now, I don't know how well everyone out there in subscriber land actually keeps up with role-playing news. I tend to flip from having no idea what's going on whatsoever to being on the ball. It depends on the property, to be honest with you. It used to be back in the day, before RPG Now and things like that, that I would say probably just after third edition D&D came out, I knew what was on the market. Or at least I thought I did. I mean, there was a couple of gaps in my knowledge, but not massive ones. So when I see a piece of news I've not heard before, it's like, wow, yeah, and then everyone's already talked about it before I get a chance to make a video about it. So the world of internet vlogging, shall we say, moves faster than I do, because I'm a vlogger, which is a bit of a disappointment. basically Final Fantasy Games have released information about their latest 40k role-playing game, Deathwatch, which is the third of their trilogy of systems, shall we say. They all run off the exact same system, but the idea being that the first one was Dark Heresy, where you play inquisitorial people. The second one was Rogue Trader, where you play the command crew of a Rogue Trader vessel. And the third one is Deathwatch, where you play Space Marines, part of the Ordus Xenos Strike Force, which draws very resourceful individuals from various Space Marine chapters. And my initial reaction to hearing about this at all was, it's role-playing Space Marines. I mean, what are you going to do all day? Just kill stuff. And to be fair, there's a lot of good games I've played where that is all you do, and the role-playing comes from the interactivity between the players between those scenes. So there is room, and obviously there's been plenty of books written about the Space Marines, so there's enough of a character behind the mask, as it were, to justify a role-playing game being built. And I think my friend put it best, that because it all runs off the same system and they're all basically 3 different tiers of power, and they have released Ascension for Dark Heresy, which is basically your epic level or high level game where you can become Inquisitor. Basically, he can see in the future people having groups consisting of Inquisitors, Rogue Trader crew members, and Space Marines. Really powerful Inquisitors, moderately powerful Rogue Traders, and starting level Space Marines, and they'll all be at the same power level because of the way the XP system works. And that sounds like a good game. So, thank you for your time, guys. Goodbye.